The dinner that broke everything. The night I returned to my father's house, the air itself felt staged, warm, perfumed, and heavy with the scent of roasted turkey, cinnamon, and something else beneath it, tension. The kind that hums under the skin before it breaks into thunder. The chandeliers threw fractured light across the table, glinting off wine glasses and polished silverware. My siblings were already seated, their laughter sharp and rehearsed. They looked like they belonged in a magazine spread. Perfect smiles, perfect lives, perfect lies. Palmer, my sister cooed, her voice sweet as poison. Still at that little law firm? Her husband chuckled softly, swirling his drink. My brother leaned back, grinning. You've always been the responsible one, he said. Steady job, small apartment, sensible shoes. Their laughter felt like claws on glass. I smiled because it was expected, because that's what I'd always done, play the role of the quiet, polite disappointment. But tonight, something inside me was shifting. Works good, I said simply, my tone flat enough to silence the table for half a heartbeat. Dad cleared his throat. Let's not do this tonight, he warned, though his lips curved in amusement. It's my birthday, not a career intervention. I wanted to tell him that I'd bought the cake myself, that I'd organized this dinner because, after years of distance, I still believed we could be a family again. But as I looked around the table, I realized how naive that hope was. Their world spun on luxury, and I was just an outsider who'd forgotten her place. The clinking of glasses began again. Conversations rose. Stocks, promotions, home renovations. I let my mind drift, tracing the rim of my glass until my reflection blurred. Then, like a whisper cutting through the noise, my sister leaned toward me. You should think about moving back home, she said softly, too softly. Chicago's expensive, and it's not like you have anyone there. The words landed like a slap. Something in me cracked open. I don't know what broke first, my patience or my silence, but when I laughed, it startled even me. That it wasn't a small laugh. It was sharp, echoing, the kind that slices through decades of restraint. What's so funny? My brother asked. I reached into my purse and set a black American Express card on the table. The sound of it hitting the wood cut through the laughter like a blade. This, I said. This is what's funny. They all stared at it, at me. That's Mom's, my sister whispered, frowning. That I nodded slowly. It was. Until she gave it to me. The room went still. Even the flicker of candlelight seemed to pause. Dad's hand tightened around his glass. Palmer, he said, his voice carefully measured, where did you get that? From her, I said simply. 2 weeks before she died. A tremor passed through the room. That I reached into my bag again, this time pulling out a small leather folder. And she left these, I continued, sliding it across the table. Inside were property deeds, account statements, and a will written in her own delicate handwriting. My siblings' faces drained of color as they leaned in. She left everything to me, I said quietly. Not because I'm her favorite. Because I was the only one who didn't turn my back on her. Dad's jaw clenched, but his eyes flickered with something I hadn't seen in years. Fear. Palmer, that's not. No, I interrupted, my voice shaking now. You don't get to explain this away. You let everyone believe she abandoned us. You told us she was unstable. That she was broken. My breath hitched. She wasn't. She was protecting herself from you. My sister shook her head violently. You're lying. I slid my phone across the table, pressed play. Mom's voice filled the silence. If you're watching this, she said gently, then I'm gone. I'm sorry, my loves, but I had to leave. I couldn't let him destroy me, or you. Palmer, you were the only one who called. The only one who asked if I was okay. Everything I've built, every dollar I saved, I'm leaving in your name. Because you believed me when no one else would. My vision blurred. My chest ached. But I didn't stop the video. Dad sat motionless, his face stone, but his knuckles white. My brother muttered something about forgery. My sister whispered, impossible. I stood, the room spinning around me. She wanted me to wait until her 60th birthday to show you this, I said softly. Because she believed the truth should come when we were all together. Well, I said, glancing around the table, we're all here. The silence that followed was bottomless. Dad rose, his voice low and trembling. You don't understand, Palmer. What she did, what you did, I corrected. You built your success on her silence. You made her the villain so you could stay the hero. But I see it now. I see all of it. He tried to speak again, but I was already done. That I picked up my coat, my hand steady for the first time all evening. You always said I was too soft, I said quietly. Turns out, that's what made me stronger. As I walked toward the door, I felt their eyes burning holes into my back, anger, disbelief, fear. Maybe even guilt. Outside, the night air hit me like freedom. Cold. Electric. Real. For the first time in years, I didn't feel small. I didn't feel invisible. That I pulled out my phone, opened the video again, and watched her smile one last time. Mom's voice played softly in my ear. The truth doesn't always make you free, Palmer. But it will make you powerful. And as I walked away from that house, heels striking the wet pavement, I finally understood what she meant. Power wasn't about money. It wasn't about winning. It was about choosing yourself, even when the people who should have loved you most never did.